I'll share a very small story. So all these kids that I have, they're from the slums. They eat twice. They probably cannot eat three times a meal properly. Some of the kids, and they lost all hopes. They're like, what will happen if I actually get education? And because it's a long way, I don't know if I can do it or not. So what I did was I took them to a cancer hospital where the kids have around 6 months to 2 years to live. And when my kids saw them, they are smiling, but they have 2 years. My kids actually have life. They probably don't have food right now, but they know that they'll live and all. That's something that I did just to show whenever we are in the position, what happens is we start comparing and we think, oh, I have one glass of water, he have two glass of water. We are never thinking what I have. So that's why we lose hope. So that's a very big challenge that you need to look into yourself what you have. That's one thing. Hi, my name is Korvi Rakshand and I'm the founder of JAAGO Foundation, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing very well. It's great to talk to you. So, make sure I get this right. I'm the worst when it comes to pronouncing names. Is it Korvi? Is that your first name?
Yes, that's right.
And then is it? I'm gonna try this myself before I see if I can mess it up really bad. Is it Is it Rakshand? Rakshand? How do you pronounce it?
Yes, it's Rakshand.
Rakshand.
Yeah, Rakshand, yeah.
Rakshand. Okay, great man. Oh, do you have a set of headphones or any kind of maybe even just earbuds or something to cut out a little noise behind you?
Oh, okay. Hold on, let me, because I am actually talking with the, what is it called? From the webcam, there's a speaker.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be good.
It's pretty good. There's just a little bit of background noise. Maybe it's a fan or an air conditioner or something back there.
Just give me a second.
Oh, that was it. The screen door was fine. It was that second door you closed. That's where the noise was.
Oh, okay. That's from the office side.
Do you want to open up your outside door again so you can get some fresh air?
Yeah.
I don't want to make you too hot in there.
I think it's. Do you still get noise?
Oh yeah.
Because it's the election time right now, and there are always campaigns going on.
Oh really? So they drive down the street and telling who they're.
Easy, after 13 years, they're having the city mayoral election after 13 years.
Oh wow, 13.
So you can imagine, one full decade, people are frustrated, so they're bringing up everything out.
So they've had 13 years. One guy has been in power.
No, 7 years, and then there was no one.
Really?
Yeah.
Who? Well.
It's a city mayoral election, so the main government was taking care of it. And as usual, when the main government tries to take care of the cities, automatically it will not function because it's the main government. They have much more bigger work to do.
Wow. Yeah, I can hear it back there. Boy, they're making some noise. That's impressive.
And one of their mandates are like sound pollution. They want to stop sound pollution, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So let me walk you through how this works. I really appreciate your time today. I know you're super busy. I was reading your bio a minute ago, and you've done so much. So I'm going to introduce you, and I'll read part of your bio, and then that interview 101 document you probably got a hold of, and it has all the questions that I ask you. Did you get a hold of that thing?
Right. I couldn't check it properly. It's just crazy at our end. We're trying to cooperate with the candidates because we're actually getting the young people to vote. I'm always, like most of the time, running after the candidates. They're VIPs now, so
Wow.
just getting too much.
Yeah, I understand. Well, let me do this then. I'll walk you through the questions so you can just kind of answer them as we go along. There's 5 questions about hope, and you just put out there whatever comes to mind. Question number 3 deals with a time in your life when you may have really had to work through something hard, and hope was either hard to find or you had to really lean on hope. Whatever, you just tell your story. That's kind of where your background, your life story goes in, and let me introduce you about your organization, and then I'll ask a little more about you, and then, tell us what's going on today, the elections, whatever, and then I'll start question 1 through 5.
Sure, I think yeah, that's better because I never actually prepare a speech or never actually see the questions. It's whatever comes in my mind. That's how I've run JAAGO, and that's us. That's me.
I think that's better. I prefer that anyway. All right, so it's JAAGO. Is that how you pronounce the foundation?
Yeah, JAAGO.
JAAGO. Okay, so it's Korvi, Rakshand, and JAAGO. Or JAAGO.
Yes.
JAAGO. Okay, great. Well, today, Korvi Rakshand. Sorry, I'm going to try it again. Today, Korvi Rakshand is with me. He is the head of the foundation that is called JAAGO. JAAGO Foundation. It's JAAGO. Korvi was named recently by the British Parliament Commonwealth as one of the top 10 inspirational people from Bangladesh. Now, Korvi is in Bangladesh now. Actually, you can hear some of the political noise behind him right now outside. They're doing some serious election work. And you've done a lot, Korvi. You've got a huge foundation going on. I see you have over 1,600 children that you're providing free education for through the foundation and through 8 schools there in Bangladesh. Also, you have over 10,000 people that are helping with the volunteer work that you're creating. I'm amazed. You're really building an enormous crowd behind you. So, Korvi, we're going to jump into the interview here. Korvi, I'm like stumbling on my words today. I can't believe it. I'm going to start that all over with and go faster and get this done right because I want to just say this right. I really apologize. Usually I'm smooth in this, but I'm not sure what's going on in my head. All right, so now Jeff is the guy who does the audio editing. So Jeff, if you're listening to this, you can erase everything that happened before now. Okay. Korvi Rakshand is in Bangladesh, and he is the founder of JAAGO Foundation, a civil society organization established in 2007 and based in Bangladesh. JAAGO operates with the help of its employees and volunteer platform, over 10,000 volunteers. That's amazing. What JAAGO is doing is building and providing free education for underprivileged children there in Bangladesh. So over 1,600 underprivileged kids are learning and understanding the world because of what Korvi has started. He's been named one of the top 10 most inspirational people in Bangladesh, and that was actually named by the British Parliament and Commonwealth. That's incredible. So, Korvi, I'm thrilled to have you on with us today. Tell us a little more about what you're doing right now today, and then we'll jump into our questions about hope.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for reaching out to me in Bangladesh. Actually, I am right now where we are based is in a slum area where we operate, and that's why you hear so much noise because the vote banks are here, and there's huge campaigns going on for the mayoral election that's happening after 13 years in Bangladesh. So my foundation is basically how you say JAAGO. It means wake up. We don't say it's an organization. Rather, we say it's a wake-up call for this nation. In Bangla, Hindi, Urdu, it's the same word. Means wake up. So it's a wake-up call by the young people, for the young people, because more than 50% of the population is in Bangladesh is under the age of 25. And they don't have the space where they can actually go and tell about their dreams and stuff. Like my journey started when I was 21 years old, and I wanted to do something. When I went to people and I said I want to run a school for slum children, and especially focusing in English so that they can communicate with the world. Bangladesh is a labor-oriented country. A lot of people go abroad. Still, they're always being hard workers. They're always backbenchers because they cannot communicate, but they'll be doing hard work. So I thought of teaching English, and people were laughing at me, saying that they can't even talk in Bangla properly. How do they talk in English? And what I thought was the reason I can talk in English, or I can do something. It's just the opportunity. I got the opportunity, and I learned it. So I wanted to take that opportunity to slum children, and that is how everything started. The journey started with 17 children on a piece of carpet, and today 1600 is the old number. We have 1800 kids and 17,000 volunteers working for JAAGO Foundation.
1,800 kids, 17,000 volunteers.
Right.
Wow. Where are all these volunteers? Are they in Bangladesh or they come from all over the world?
The 17,000 that I'm talking about is in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is highly densely populated. There's a lot of people with something that we are not short of. And it's not only in Dhaka. Like I'm sitting right now in Dhaka, in the capital, and everything is in Dhaka. If you think about this, the sea, the coast is in another city, but the naval headquarters is in Dhaka. So you can understand, like, everything is centered in Dhaka, and that's why all the opportunities are in Dhaka. So my vision was not only to work in Dhaka. I started working in Dhaka because the contacts, network, money, people are here. But after I showed people, we went out. So two of our schools are in Dhaka, and rest are outside Dhaka. And the 70,000 volunteers, 4,000 are based in Dhaka, and rest are in the other 32 districts in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is divided into 64 districts, so we have reached half of Bangladesh.
Amazing work. I'm listening behind you. So I'm picturing what's going on outside your window. Are there trucks going by with loudspeakers announcing who the next candidate they want to be?
Interesting thing is, it's not only about trucks. They're using all sort of vehicles. Like you can, they're using rickshaws. Like I don't know if you know rickshaw.
Yeah.
On the pool. So there are like hundreds of rickshaws branded, and there are people seating. It's a very joyful thing. One thing is, yes, there are some violence going on, but it's like a festive that has taken place because it's after 13 years,
Oh,
and we have 1,400,000 people, young people who will be voting for the first time.
oh, that's a good point. So the kids, the population you're educating is really going to be voting for the very first time ever.
Not our kids. Our kids are still under 18, but yes, our volunteers, a lot of them will be voting this time.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Good for them. Great opportunity. All right, Korvi, here's how this works. We ask you 5 questions about hope, and you just fire off the answers that come to mind. And I'm just really curious to hear what you have to say, because you've obviously generated an enormous amount of hope for a lot of people. So question number 1, what is your definition or your favorite quote about hope? How would you define hope?
My definition of hope is, I don't know if I can explain exactly the definition, but my answer will be, hope is something that have brought me here today. When I started it, I didn't have any, initially, I didn't have any friends who believed in my work. My After 2 years of my work, when I graduated, my parents gave me a condition of whether their business or my madness. And if I have to be with my madness, I have to leave home, and that's why I am based in the slums. So for the last 5.5 years, I've been living with hope with these children. So when I say my first line, I always use a word, even in my presentations, that I had 17 children on a piece of carpet and a room full of hope. And I have been saying this for the last 8 years, and that is hope for me. People say, what inspires me? Yes, these awards and these recommendations, that's good. But when I see the child on the first day, when I ask him what do you want to become, he said he wants to become a rickshaw puller. Then he said that he wants to become a tuk-tuk driver. And then he said he wants to become a cab driver, a yellow cab driver. That's the biggest imagination they had. Today, if I ask them, they say, I want to become a pilot. I want to become an engineer. I want to become a barrister. And they're still young. So they believe that, like the plane, like the rickshaw, The plane will be owned by him. He wants to take all his friends who cannot afford a plane. The girl who wants to become a barrister have always seen the mother getting harassed after the father died. And she wants to start a pro bono organization like JAAGO helping these women. That is hope for me.
17 children in a room full of hope. I love it. Boy, that's great. You know, it's so cool to see hope jumping out of kids' hearts, because I think kids can, well, they can get hope better than adults can, you know, and it's just awesome. Love seeing that. All right, question number 2: who has given you the most hope in your life? Who's shared the most hope with you growing up?
I think as an example, definitely I have continuously seen the kids. They are my hope, but also the young people who works with me. The 70,000 volunteers. Slowly, they're the ones when I was in trouble. Uh, Starting from when I needed money, they raised money. We together. I wouldn't say even they. We together we raised money together. I didn't have money to get teachers. They said I will volunteer. I think that's they give me hope. These young people in this country, the amazing work they're doing. When we started, there was no youth organization like that, like the way we work. And now there's so many young organizations which not only helping in volunteerism, but also now they've started their startups and small things. And I think that's hope for me, the young people in Bangladesh, because that's the 50, more than 50% of the population. They give me hope.
Wow, good answer. Great answer. You've got a great support group behind you. Can't do it alone, can you? Nobody can. All right, question 3. Tell us more about your story, kind of your background. When was a time in your life when things weren't going so great, and you know, things fall apart sometimes, and we have to really lean on hope or go to those people who are supporting us, or whoever it may have been in your friends or family group. What's happened in your life where you really needed hope?
I think hope is something that you always need. You need that I won't say destination. It's more about travel. It's more about a journey, and in the journey you have to have hope. Yes, definitely there were situations when I was depressed, I was frustrated, and someone or the other in disguise came and gave hope. So, for example, um, when I started this foundation, yes, I was young. It was more like a hobby for me, and I started. And then after 3 months, when the kids said, "Sir, when are we having our promotion?" I said, "Let's make it into a school." I was only teaching them English, and then where do I get money? So I didn't have money. So I went to some people. I went to one elder brother and I said, "Can you give me some money to just buy like some books and stationeries?" That's a small hope. That's how everything started, and not always everything has to be big. Jago started with 17 children, and literally on a piece of carpet. Uh, Doing this for a while, at one point I was teaching English. Bangladesh is the only country in the entire world who fought for their language. And the senior citizens started criticizing me that I was promoting English and started calling me a traitor because I wasn't promoting Bangla. And I said, Bangla is my mother language, that's in my heart. I'm teaching that to the kids. But English is something that will help them. It's not a language, it's a communication tool. That time I was frustrated, but I went to my friends. They gave me hope that you try. If you want, if you fail, let them fail. Remember that you are one step near to your hope, to your dream. I think those are situations uh, when my parents didn't understand that what I was doing, and they gave me a condition, so I was kicked out from the home, and I came and stayed in the slum. This is something not. I didn't grow up like that. I came from a well-off family, so it was hard. But and I also didn't have money to eat because I was so angry that I just left home. And the kids, when they heard and their parents heard that I left home for them, they were the ones who fed me for 1 month. That gave me hope. So I think those were situations uh, that helped me. These were the peoples who were behind me. I will say with me, not even behind. They were with me, and these are hopes of my life. And now my hopes are definitely, as I said, the kids are always there, but also the young people in this country.
Wow. So you actually left a well-to-do family and moved to the slums to really be part of the community you were hoping to help, and they actually ended up helping you in the process.
Um, my background is I'm a lawyer by profession from University of London. So my parents invested a lot of money, so definitely they expected me to go and get a good job, then a beautiful wife and some children, which I do have children, 1,800 kids that I'm supporting. So I think yes, it was a struggle, or it was a bit frustrating at times, and I was not supposed, this was not the course of my life, but there are situations, there are times that things happen that change the course of my life. And in the course, yes, I did help them, but I learned so many things.
Yeah, it sounds like they've helped you as much or more than you've helped them. It's interesting how when we give, we always get back more than we give. You know.
Very true.
Hmm. Question 4. Thanks for sharing that. Question 4. How are you sharing hope today? So you've told us about your foundation work and the things you're doing in such a huge scale there in Bangladesh. But when you're out just walking around town, when you're talking to your neighbors, when you're just working on a project with a coworker, how do you share hope on a daily basis?
I think first of all, honestly speaking, I work 18 hours a day, and that's because I say I don't work. That's my hobby. That's my passion. So I can't find a difference between I am resting and not working. Even when probably I'm just lying down, I'm thinking about a project, how I can develop, where I can get these young people. And my free times are with all my volunteers, just motivating them. Like in on a Friday or a Saturday, the volunteers will come over and they spend time. They want to learn so many things. They want to ask things. So I think by process, the work that I'm doing is actually giving hope. So in terms of kids, you can understand that giving them a brighter future, giving them education. But something that I faced because of my age, I was 21 years old, everyone criticized that this is not the time for you to think about charity work. And honestly speaking, people have, there are famous quotes in the world, but I made my own quote to motivate myself. People call it charity. I call it responsibility. For me, it's not charity work. Charity you can do once, twice, thrice. I'm a Muslim. So, for example, okay, I'll get the heaven, and yes, I've done my charity work. No, that's not how it should be. It should be like it's your responsibility. You have to help these people. So getting these young people, if you ask me how, I decentralized the power that I had, being the head of the organization, to motivate these young people. Me sitting in the capital, I cannot decide what should be in one of the remotest parts of Bangladesh. So what we did was we select, it's an election process that volunteers take, and they get elected. They decide what they should do. Our work is to train them, help them how to design a program, how to work unitedly, how to raise fund. These are our work, but we let them do the work. Sometimes they do mistake, and that is the process how you need to teach them. They will do mistake. They're young people. You need to adore them. You need to scold them. It's together, and that's how I think we are spreading hope. Because me as an individual person, how much, what can I do? I am training others, and others are training, and it's spreading. That's why I say I have about 17,000 volunteers.
That's a great principle. So you're sharing hope on a daily basis personally with the people around you, and you're teaching them how to do more sharing of hope. That's critical because I think a lot of times, at least for me, I think, oh, I need to grow in hope or I need to share some hope, so I'm going to go to one person and do something nice for them. But what you're doing is you're creating you're creating a multiplying effect. So when you teach one person how to do what you're doing, they are empowered now, and they go and share with 10 more people who learn, and then they share with 10 more people. So now we got 100, more than 100 people, and then we get 1,000 people. Then yeah, I love it. You're making an enormous impact by teaching people how to do this, not just doing it yourself. Hmm.
That's the whole idea that me as an individual, maybe every day I'll get 1 hour to help a person after my work. But if my work is to inspire others to do, to help others, it automatically keeps on multiplying, and it has a much more effect. So these 17,000 volunteers who are helping, they're also motivating others, and it's just growing.
I love it. Okay, question 5. How should I, the listener, begin to grow in hope or share hope today? So give me some simple steps. If I'm not a hopeful person listening to the podcast or the interview, or I know someone who's really struggling to have any hope in life, what are the basic starting steps that I should teach somebody to start growing in hope?
I'll share a very small story. So all these kids that I have, they're from the slums. They eat twice. They probably cannot eat three times a meal properly, some of the kids. And they lost all hopes. They're like, what will happen if I actually get education? And because it's a long way, I don't know if I can do it or not. So what I did was I took them to a cancer hospital where the kids have around 6 months to 2 years to live. And when my kids saw them, they're smiling, but they have 2 years. My kids actually have life. They probably don't have food right now, but they know that they'll live and all. That's something that I did just to show whenever we are in the position, what happens is we start comparing and we think, oh, I have 1 glass of water, he have 2 glass of water. We are never thinking what I have. So that's why we lose hope. So that's a very big challenge, that you need to look into yourself what you have. That's one thing. Secondly, to be hopeful, I think you need to find your passion in life. That can be social work, that can be becoming a billionaire. It's no harm in that. If you want to become a billionaire and you want to create hundreds of jobs and change people's life, that's fine. And I think the important part is to find what is your passion, like I did. That I want to be with young people. I want to motivate them to do good work. I want to teach the children. This is very important, finding the passion in life. And then when you find the passion, you need to do a bit of research how actually you can go and get your passion. How can actually you to reach the place you want to be, you need to do the research, find out the steps. You will do mistakes, do not lose hope. Every time you're doing mistake, you know that you're one step closer to success. So I think that's a very small way to tell like people to find hope in their life. I know it's not very constructive. I'm not a very constructive speaker. It's just
Oh no, no, you nailed it, man. You really did. So you getting perspective on where you stand and how much opportunity, even though you think you might not have any, how much you really do have, is a great first step. Number 2, it was really identifying your passion and what drives you forward, so you can really connect all the action steps you have to take to that passion and stay fueled up and ready to go. And then 3, go for it. Take some steps, fail, win, succeed, lose. It doesn't matter. Just get in there, get messy, start the process. I mean, how straightforward is that?
and especially when you're young, you think less and you can take the risk. So when you're 20, 25, you can actually do it. When you're 35, 40, it's hard to take that risk. So when you're young, if you're listening to it, go out, do what you want to do. If people laughed at me for 2 years. It took me 2 years to make them understand I can do something.
Well, I'm not laughing. I'm amazed. That's for sure. Well, if people want to follow you and find out more of what you're doing, how can we connect? Social media links, website, what do you have out there that we can find?
Yes. So in website it's called www.jaago.com.bd, and also in Facebook or Twitter you type JAAGO Foundation, or the best is just go to Google, type JAAGO Foundation. I promise we will be in the first one to find out. If you type JAAGO Foundation, we're very, very connected in social media and also web, because as a non-profit we cannot promote, but Facebook is free, Twitter is free, so that's where we live.
You're right. So I've done it. I've typed in JAAGO Foundation on Google, and you dominate the first like 3 pages of Google. So I think you're good there. And your social media links, everything is on there. It's easy to find, and I'll make sure that we include all of those links on the show notes page at isharehope.com. If you look up isharehope.com/Korvi, you will find all things about this interview. That's KORVI. So now, Korvi, awesome job answering all those questions. I'm gonna give an official goodbye in a minute, but this is where we take a quick break and we let you do some quotes. We introduce each episode with a little snippet of the interview, some just great. I'm making notes here of what you're saying. It's amazing. So we're gonna have a little snippet of the interview, and then we're gonna have your name. So if it was me, I would say, I'm Chris Williams, head of the JAAGO Foundation, or I'm Chris Williams, host of I Share Hope, and I Share Hope. So can you give me a quote with your name? So I'm Korvi, your title of the foundation, and I Share Hope. So however you want to introduce yourself, just your name, what you do, and then the quote, I Share Hope.
Hi, my name is Korvi Rakshand, and I'm the founder of JAAGO Foundation, and I Share Hope.
Excellent. That was perfect. Do it one more time. We always get a couple just in case there's any glitch in the audio.
Hi, my name is Korvi Rakshand. I'm the founder of JAAGO Foundation, and I Share Hope.
Perfect. I think we're great, and that's really good. All right, Korvi, I am I got the mind of a 3-year-old somehow, and it never really grew up. So I have just a million questions that I think of with what you're doing. So can I ask just a few rapid-fire questions? Okay. So first of all, you're in Bangladesh, and there's tons of people everywhere. How do you identify the kids that want to go to school with your organization versus the ones that don't get in? I mean, you only have so many spaces, right?
Very true. Initially, we didn't get children because they thought, because of my name, it's not a very typical name. People thought I'm going to promote Christianity, I'm going to promote religion, and they didn't send. But now, after the quality of education, now everyone wants to send their children. So we have a criteria, income level. So every person in the family, the income level has to be less than 2,000 taka. Then only you can apply to become a part of the foundation, because education is 100% free here. Not only education, but nutritious boost, hygiene products, all sort of education materials. Everything is basically for free, what you need to go to a school. So that's one. And secondly, also we do some background check, because a lot of people come here just to take those things. So if you're actually motivated to come and stuff, but these are all with the parents, nothing to do with the children. Children, they just come. So those are small criteria, and there are field visits that's done by our volunteers and our employees to see if the informations are correct.
Nice. Okay, you've done so much with the foundation. You're in front of crowds all the time. You're speaking to a lot of people. What scares you today? You're a really brave person. You've conquered the world now. What still makes you nervous?
My nervous still if I see a lot of crowd and I have to talk, especially if I have to give presentations and stuff with PowerPoint. If you ask me to talk, I can talk, but if you put me into a systematic process, I dysfunction. But yeah, no. I think what scares me, I honestly speaking, it's hard to say, because I was always a risk taker. So if I thought something scares me, I just took the risk, and somehow or the other, with these young people, with these awesome risk takers, I've always somehow or the other succeeded because of the music team.
Okay, when you're not working 18 hours a day or having fun 18 hours a day, since you love what you do for work, what do you do when you're not working with the foundation? If you're just going to go out and have a fun afternoon, what's it going to be?
That's really hard to say. That's really hard to say, because honestly speaking, I don't do that. But yes, for my hobby, I do photography. So that's also part of my work, because I'm always taking pictures of wherever I'm going. But yes, photography is a small passion that I have.
Photography. That's great. Will you send us a few pictures? Will you send me a few pictures of just maybe a sampling of your work? Because I would love to put a slideshow of that on the show notes page.
Sure. Actually, we just had an exhibition, so I put 8 pictures. It's a story. Entire 8 pictures is a story of a small child. His name is Jibon. Jibon means life. So There's an 8 slide picture story. I'll send it over.
Please do. All right, last question for you. If you want to just listen to some awesome music to jam out with, what's it going to be? Favorite song, favorite artist?
I love upbeat music because I want to be cheerful. Yes, there are sad times. I listen to sad music, but yes, something that I usually listen when I need a bit of inspiration is something like Michael Jackson's song.
Yeah.
It's maybe it's weird, but I
No,
do.
it's great.
Presentations are made out of those songs, so didn't really care about us. Is something that my journey started with. So I always thought a lot of people don't care about a lot of people, and that's why I started with it.
How about popular music in Bangladesh? Who are you going to listen to?
Oh yes, popular music in Bangladesh, for example, there are some fantastic singers like Anushe. She does really good singing, motivational singing, also folk, which is also like a traditional thing. So I'm a big fan of Anushe. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I tell you what, Korvi, you've been a ton of fun to talk to. You really have. You're super energetic. I wish everybody listening, you only hear the audio. At some point, we may figure out how to use some of these videos that we get off the interviews, but you got to see this guy's hair. It's super awesome. I'm actually losing my hair, which is why I'm doing voice work, because you can't see the balding head, but Korvi's got the craziest, coolest head of hair. So, man, thanks so much for your time, your energy, your passion. You can just feel it, and it's really encouraging.
Thank you, Chris. Just before I end, I because I know a lot of people will be hearing this through you guys, so I just want to send a small message that I always try to do, which is, uh, what do you do when you get a gift? You keep it in a safe place, you clean it, you make sure that it's in a nice place, it looks nice. So this world is the best gift that God have given us. And rather than blaming that it's not my work, it's not my part, it's not my land, let's work together to keep it clean, to keep it safe. It's our duty. No one will come and take care of our world. It's us. We have to do it together. So that's a small message that I always try to spread.
That's awesome. Thank you. Great way to wrap this up. Korvi, a privilege to talk to you. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and I hope the elections go well over there. And we'll look forward to sharing this story, and looking forward to hear from you again.
Thank you, and I am hopeful.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the Top 10 Actions of Hope from World Leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.